Don't blink as you're buying. Welcome, complimentary. You guys are doing well. Just having a wonderful day on this glorious. Um, Making myself a drink. 22nd September 2025. We still have some the good place to do. So if you don't mind, let's go. Before we start, I made a mistake. There's not 52 episodes. There's 50 episodes, and we are at season 2. So technically speaking, we are a quarter down. Down. Um, More than a quarter because every single episode is 2% because there's 50 episodes. So with 2%, and we've done 15, we are at 30%, which is good because we still have 3 days inclusively on the 25th. Without further ado, we made ourselves a little bit of a drink with something called mixed sour slurp. So this is going to be helping us with our voice. We've been doing a lot of videos lately, so sometimes my voice is coarse. Not sponsored. It could be. Okay. Y'all ready? Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Oops. The screen closed. So we have season 2 episode 1, which is The Good Place. It's really cool because we are skipping chapter 14 and 15. So this is kind of nice because from the get-go, we've been doing episodes which are chapters. 14 and 15 means there's 2 chapters in 1 episode. So we have Michael explains that everything is okay. We got and it kind of sucks because like when you look at the reminder or the recap of last season, it's a couple minutes. So I'm like, there's no way that a whole season is that little, right? I love this. We have Michael as going for a second try, and he has a failure. So now he has to report to Sean, which is his boss, that he is the that he failed. So Michael is a bit worried, and he promised that this time it's gonna be working. So we have the good place, which is super nice. So now what he does is we're seeing here. Now we have the reveal, and this is cool because how do you redo a first episode to a series? Be completely different. We have the reveal that every single person in the bad place is an actor, except for Eleanor, Shiri, Tahani, and Jason. Also, Janet isn't a actor; she's a construct, which is kind of important to the story. So then we have a meeting where everybody says, "Hey, this is our plan. What should we do to torture them?" So this is kind of super nice. Michael tells them, "Hey, let them torture each other. No biting, nothing, right?" This is the coolest thing because what they're also saying is the goal is for Eleanor, and this is huge. This is humongous. The plan right now is to get the same party thrown down, which is where Eleanor will drink and fuck up the entire thing, right? Because this was the cataclysm of everybody. Guys, remember last episode, and this is important because this is not information that you get on your first watch. So last episode, they were talking about how everybody's pissed at Eleanor because of what happened at the party, right? This is the cataclysm of Eleanor doesn't belong here. And this is kind of cool. This is really cool. But then it does feel bad because, you know, the plot where she had no points, then what did that do? You know, it's there's a lot of plot hole. So we have this is super cool because we have and we're meeting the same couple. You guys remember it? So this is a powerful moment. Why? This is a powerful moment because it's character that we know. For example, if the neighborhood is 150 people, you need to present 150 people. Or what you do is you present people once, then you present them again, which is important. So she meets Jason. Now, this is a cool thing. Jason also is not supposed to be there. Um, but this is nice because Jason doesn't belong here. And no matter if their memory is wiped out, they don't belong here. See, the thing with the show is that you know, and I'm going to read myself, but I don't care. You know exactly who doesn't belong there. It's Jason and Eleanor. Tahani and Shitty, although not super morally good, they're not super bad. Like, when it tells Shitty like, what have you been? Or why are you here? Shitty's like, oh well, I knew the way almond affected the the environment, and I still drank almond milk, which I didn't know that. I didn't know that affected the environment. So we got Michael telling Eleanor, "You're special. You're the one with the most point here." So then what she does, and this is super cool, is we got a best person speech, right? Which makes her kind of the star of the party. Why is it important? Because the goal is for people to get her drunk, right? So the best person party. Okay. There's two plus. On the surface is giving Eleanor importance. The second is okay. Well, Eleanor's gonna get a lot of attention. Eleanor's gonna be receiving a lot of offer for drinks, and there's a reason why people are nice to her. And the reason people are nice to her is because she has a Satch, which is the best person here. You know. So to me, this was kind of important. I feel like I've watched more than 2 episodes of the second season, though. I feel like I've watched more than that. Oh, we are at episode 2. We got 3 episodes to do. No. I don't freaking know. Go ahead, check out something. Give me a sec. I actually don't remember this. Okay, so I know I didn't watch it because there's no... Are the episodes longer? No? Maybe I was just tired and it felt like more. Okay, that's weird. That is weird. That is weird. I don't know. Good, okay, perfect. So yeah, so Eleanor is receiving a bunch of drinks, which is cool, and we get the party, and people are worried because she's not drinking. And then this is nice. Why? Because of the paper that she left in the mouth of Janet, which nobody knows about. Her mission now is to find Shitty. If she's able to find Shitty, she cannot get drunk. She has to find Shitty, right? So now we're seeing that. Now I want to say the first episode is a bit lacking. Why? Because you reuse a lot of the same scene. You reuse, and this is kind of stupid. So there's Angelique, right, who comes in, and she says, "Don't make this harder than it should be, Shitty." Why is that important? Because and this is at the same time, this is so annoying, so boring, but this is so brilliant. So this event is the most important. So because she called him Shitty, it means Eleanor finds Shitty. You see the drink that she has? This is insane because on the other side of those drinks, on the other side of those drinks, and I forgot a piece of content that's important. I'm gonna go back to it after. She gave those drinks to Tahani. Tahani is on the other side of the camera. She's right here. She's right here. Because she's drunk, she'll make a speech, which is not good because it's not Eleanor, but it's still a drunken speech. Now, here's a cool thing. Jason ended up giving Eleanor a little bit of a prize. What is that prize? He gives her a gear. Now, the gear in itself, Eleanor said, "Oh, this is some kind of magic. This is a monk that gave it to me." But it's not a magic. It's a piece of a bicycle. However, it is super important. You know why? Because Jason did something bad, and the proof of this bad action is the gear. So this is the proof that Jason and Eleanor don't belong there, which means that she's not alone, which means that there's something going on with this place. There's a mistake being made. So this is super cool. However, the same scene of She Don't Make This Harder Than It Has to Be is presented 3 times. We got Michael with Shitty, and this is super cool because Shitty version really changes. Shitty version is, okay, well, Eleanor cannot be your soulmate. Why? Because, and this is kind of interesting because, again, it's not especially said. You have to really pay attention to The Good Place. You really have to read into it to see the true beauty of the show. Example. Shitty, right, doesn't belong with Eleanor. If he gets with Eleanor, it'll be transforming her into a good person. So we have to avoid that. So how do we avoid that? We put Shitty and Eleanor with a good person. Now Eleanor will torture herself feeling that she's not in the good place, right? Because even though her memories are erased, she's still like, oh, I don't belong here. There's a mistake here. Shitty will be giving two partners, and then this is amazing because when you realize that it's meant to torture him, you realize what they're trying to do. So the first person that Shitty meets is super in tune with him. They like the same stuff. They have much in common, right? So there's four people. There's him, Pedro. There's Dominique, and I don't remember the last one name. I'm sorry. They all had a exact similar score. So they all score same, and they all could be a my apologies, a soulmate. So then Chini falls in love with Dominique because he believes that she's her soulmate. But then Michael says, wait, there's a mistake. There's an action that we didn't account for. And because of that, Pedro, you belong with Dominique. With Angelique, I don't know her name either. And then Chitty, whole thing is like, I don't belong with you, I belong with her. But this is the torture for Chitty. We had 30% batteries. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Okay, no problem. No problem at all. So yeah, so we have the meeting. And this is super cool because the girl in the background is real Eleanor. So real Eleanor is going to be super important to the plot. So real Eleanor is an actress. She took the job for Michael because she wanted to act. So then she's a normal pizza thing. And you can see that she's pissed off because she's like, this isn't a role. I practiced the role. I had such a good role. Now I have a shitty role. What's going on? So she's the one who's going to sabotage Michael later on, which is kind of important. We have Shitty here. And this is super cool because Denise comes in, right? Denise comes in and she's not supposed to be there. So what she's doing is she's changing the script. And because she's changing the script, this is the first chance. However, Angelique comes here and she talks to Shitty and say, hey, how you feeling? I feel like I belong with you. You feel like you belong with me too. Which is cool. However, here's a problem. There's a major problem, by the way. A major problem. Shitty says yes. She couldn't take a decision in season 1, but now season 2, episode 1, he takes a decision. What the fuck? So then, Eleanor comes in. And this is super, super cool because this is completely different. And this is a very cool plot point. Eleanor says, hey, you're supposed to help me. She gives the note. And then Shitty tells her, hey, I would love to help you, but I'm dealing with my own shit. I cannot help you right now. Which is cool because Shitty was morally just said no to helping somebody else. It was kind of bad. Tahani meets her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is not what she expects. Her boyfriend is small, she's tall, he is very modest, she is very expensive. They don't belong together. So Tahani is like, you know what? I'll try your lifestyle. So she dressed up like as shit, and people don't respect her. See, this is kind of cool because torturing Chidi was to give him to relationship. Torturing Janu was to give him a twin, somebody that would really follow him and make sure that he doesn't fuck up constantly. The torture for Tahani is having a boyfriend that will push her to be like a super modest. So this is kind of bad because Tahani doesn't really happen, you know. And in the first season, she was the main star. In a good place. She was the one that everybody loved, blah, 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 blah. Now nobody knows her. So she has a hard time dealing with that, which pushes her to drink a lot. Because if you drink a lot, she'll make the speech, which is super cool. We got Janu who says, hey, we have a problem with you. We found somebody that's your soulmate, but it's not really your soulmate because he's not a woman, right? So can you have two guys that are soulmates? Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying, but you don't understand what I mean, right? So what Jason is that you have not a soul mate, but you have a soul body. So what is a soul body? A soul body is a soul friend, and because he's your soul friend, you're gonna have a good time with him. So this is basically somebody that doesn't allow Janu to be other thing than the monk. So he has to stay silent. He has to stay pretending like he's a monk, right? Which is kind of cool. So then what we see is. That he broke the bike, and this is the gear that he gave to Eleanor, because the other guy was following him. He was following him all the time. So this is super, super cool. Janu is torturing because he has to drink yak milk, and you see other people drinking alcohol. So like, fuck, dude. Fuck, this is bad, you know? This is bad. We got Denise right away here, this is a super interesting scene, because Michael gives her shit. It's like, why aren't you following the plan? What's going on with the plan? And then he's like, I had a good spot. You're blowing up my spot. I had a great characters. You don't care about us. You don't care about me. And then this is Michael telling her, stay in the characters. And this is the real Eleanor, or I don't remember her name, but she's like, hey, I'm not gonna follow you, and this is a reason why Michael will have problem in the future. We got Janu and Janet. Now this is the cool thing. Janu and Janet, right? Janet has been rebooted, so Janu doesn't meet her, but then she's treating him nicely. Why is that a good scene? It's a good scene because the reality of Eleanor, she put a paper and Janet's mouth. She'll go back to shitty, which is the what she has to do. Now, with Janu, is you might not remember loving Janet, but if your emotion were true, then no matter the lifetime, you'll fall back in love with her again. So it's a case of okay, soulmates meeting again, which is kind of cool because one of them is a robot. Um, So this is super, 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 super funny. So the four character, which is Janu, Eleanor, Tahani, and Shiri, goes in, and they all disappear. So they're looking for them because they're important, right? And then all of the soulmate comes in and said, "Hey, where were you? I was so worried about you." And they all say the same speech, which makes Eleanor realize what? That this is the bad place. And then guess what? We have try number three. And this is super cool because the actor are like telling Michael like, what makes you think that it wasn't gonna work this time? He said, well, the last time they used Janet, now they're not gonna be using Janet. This is a third time. So this is cool because the implication behind it are the cool thing. The implication behind it is no matter what, uh, Michael will get discovered. No matter what, Jenny will fall in love. No matter what, everything that was supposed to happen will happen again and again and again and again and again. It's all a question of fate. So this is something I really enjoyed. Now we have a little bit of problem. This is battery is almost dead, and this battery is almost dead. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna charge the phone. It's gonna be a big deal. We have one more episode to do. We'll be right back.